Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode here at Bass and Furious TV. Thank you for everyone subscribed to the channel. I appreciate it. Hopefully you stay subscribed after watching this video. But I'm going to do a video on an unpopular opinion today. I'm going to have to do it, guys. I apologize. But when stuff like this happens, I gotta jump in there. You know what I mean? I got to jump in there. I got to jump in there and give my opinion. So if you guys follow bass fishing at all, the tournament trails, things like that, you guys know that recently released was the update to the Bassmasters. So we all follow tournament fishing. You guys remember a few years back where there was a big split. You know, a lot of your favorite anglers went to the Bass Pro Tour. A lot of your favorite anglers stayed with the Bassmasters. There was a big, divide, a lot of back and forth, a lot of not understanding, new things coming out, this, that, and third. But all said and done, you got two trails now, both of them with very top-notch levels anglers. It's kind of like if this was professional basketball, that would be like the East Coast and the West Coast, so like Lakers versus Knicks type of, way back in the day when it actually mattered. But it's a big split, but you got really good people in both conferences on both sides of the spectrum here. So that happened. A lot of people made some decisions. A lot of people decided to rock with Bassmaster. They like the 5-fish format. They like like seeing fish swung in the boat, having a good time out there, enjoying yourself. And then other people like the catch every fish you can format, especially when they changed the weight minimum requirement. A lot of people got stuck in their head that the Bass Pro Tour only fishes for like pound fish. If you follow it at all and you kept up with it at all, you know that they changed the minimum based on like the lake or river minimum, like the average species, average size fish there. They changed the minimum, so there's not a lot of bunch of 12-inch bass being caught over there. There is some pretty big fish, and then they even have a heavy hitters tournament where it's only big fish. So it's kind of like if you keep up with it and keep going, the situation, they're constantly evolving, constantly changing, trying to make things where they know they can't appease everybody. Somebody's still gonna be pissed off no matter what you do. You can give somebody $1 million, they'll be mad and want $2 million. Be like, why'd you only give me $1 million? You're like, so whatever you do, there's gonna be somebody that's not happy no matter what. So you can't let that be your barometer for how you move as a company, but you got to kind of tailor it to the people that's putting the dollars in your pocket. So you can't just completely alienate a group of people and hope they still show up for all your stuff. You know what I mean? So fast forward here, now we're at Bassmaster. Everybody's Bassmaster. They love Bassmaster. Everybody really is excited about Bassmaster. The Bassmaster Classic is like the gold standard. That's like what you want to get to, is Bassmaster Classic. And Bassmaster just released some news yesterday that upset a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people. Guys, I saw like 3 different posts about this one story, and each post had like 160 comments underneath of it, and like 159 of the 160 comments all were negative. Nobody was happy. Everybody was upset. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. Bassmaster decided to, if you follow Bassmaster Fishing, I'm hoping that you watch my channel and you follow Bassmaster like tournament fishing, because that's really what I do on here, is like tournament fishing. I got to keep up with the trails and what's going on. So Bassmaster has been where they have Bassmaster Opens. I've been fishing them this year myself as a co-angler, but they have Bassmaster Opens, and quote-unquote pro anglers, you sign up for a Bassmaster Open because that's the only way you can get to the Bassmaster Elite Series, is through the Bassmaster Open. You can't just pay and get in there. You got to get through a trail, qualify at the top of that trail in order to be eligible to get to the Bassmaster Elites. And then you get on the Elites, and now that you've made it to the top of the spectrum, now you got to pay a bunch of money to fish even more. So bass fishing has always been pay to play, pay to play, pay to play. You guys know I've discussed it on my channel several times that if you had to tell, especially these guys nowadays, like Kyrie and Kevin Durant, if you made them pay money to play basketball, they would leave the sport so fast and make your head pop off. If you told LeBron James he had to pay money now in order to possibly win money on the back end, he had to pay to get into a tournament to possibly win money on the back end, he would quit. They would all quit. Everybody would quit every professional sport. There would be no professional sports. If you told hockey players they had to pay money to get to the Stanley Cup, they would all quit. Then nobody would play anything. All the balls would be deflated. The pucks would be thrown through people's windows because they pissed off. So nobody would play anything if you had to pay to play. Bass fishing still is pay to play. You got to put up your own money, or you get sponsors to put up money for you to pay to possibly win money on the back end after beating people that all had to pay money. There's so many people that have gone broke bass fishing. There's so many people that sell their boats after they buy it after a month. They don't like to make the payment. They can't win any tournaments. They sell their stuff. Like, taking out loans to compete at a high level. I mean, dude, there's so many stories that you hear about or see or read about of people like losing everything for trying to bass fish. Dudes selling their house so they can travel and bass fish. Like, literally to be able to afford this. Like, you win a boat at a tournament, you sell the boat in order to be able to pay your tournament entry fees, use an old busted boat to travel and fish the tournaments, lose, end up having to sell the boat to keep your life afloat, and then go get a regular job cutting grass. Like, there's so many people that have gone through this gamut of like trying to be a professional angler and it just don't work out. There's very few that crack through. There's very few that have sponsors that pay for their stuff to get them in there. And yet people keep showing. Okay, so anyways, that's my little mini rant on bass fishing and pay-to-play deal. But Bassmaster took it to another level on their end. So Bassmaster's always been like that kind of trail where you fish a series, like a Northern Opens or Southern Opens or Central Opens. You have 3 different like divisions, or maybe 4 of Opens. You hop in 3 of them that's remotely close, like within 10-hour driving distance from your house. You hop in, you travel to these 3 tournaments. You got to finish in the top like 3 or something in your division in order to get that coveted invite to the Elite Series, or try to get to the Bassmaster Classic. Like, you win one, you get to the Classic, that type of thing. So everybody who likes to bass fish, who wants to compete at a high level, they take off 3 weeks from work, they tell their boss, and they fish 3 opens, they practice, they try their best, they finish in the top 3, they make the elites, they end up going broke, you never hear about them again, and then they back at the Wednesday night jackpots. Or they crack through, they win a big tournament, they make 100 grand, they're doing good, they get married, their life takes off, they're doing great. But that's very few. Most of them end up back at the weeknight trail. So there's a lot of guys that used to be Bassmaster Elite Series pros. Just let that sink in. There's a lot of guys that used to be Bassmaster Elite Series pros. Their fishing didn't change. They'll still kick your butt fishing anywhere in the world. But they're not, they used to be Elite Series pros. Just want to put that out there, right? So Bassmaster has changed it now, though. Now they want you have to fish all 9 opens and finish in the top 6, 9 something. I'm not sure, I don't remember that part distinctly, but you have to finish in the top in order to then get to the Bassmaster Elite Series. And the reason behind it is it's more like an actual trail. Okay, so here comes the unpopular part. Everybody was mad about that. Everybody's so upset about it. It's not a weekend trail anymore. How do you expect a weekend guy to get out there? How do you expect a guy to take off 9 weeks from work to fish? I can't fish. I can't pay $1,700 times 9 tournaments to get. I don't have the sponsors. I'm not a pro. I can't get the sponsors. I can't do that. I got to come up with this money. Now it's a rich man's game. Now whoever's got the money can get there. Whoever's got the money, you can do this, you can do that. Money can do this, you can do this, you can do that. Okay. So, here's the unpopular part. Okay. You mean to tell me... Okay, let's get a little closer so y'all can see what I'm saying. Because I got to smile, but there's nothing laughing about this, okay? You mean to tell me that you was going to be a Bassmaster Elite Series pro, but you can't get more than 3 weeks off from work? You're telling me that when you got the invite to be a Bassmaster Elite Series pro, that when you went to your boss who was expecting you to be at work and told him, hey, I'm a Bassmaster Elite Series pro, I need 9 weeks off now. You mean to tell me that you was going to go from 3 weeks to 9 weeks if you got that invite? And your life was going to be okay. Going from 3 tournaments spread out over 12 months to now 9 tournaments spread out over 12 months. You meant to tell me that you were going to be... everything was going to magically just fall into place when that happened? I'm confused. Okay, if you can't get off time from work to be for 9 tournaments or 9 weeks, how was you going to be an Elite Series pro? They don't pay you when you get the invite. They don't invite you, hey, Jim, we're glad you made it. Here's 50 grand and here's a note to your boss to say to give you time off. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I don't understand. Like, I get what they're trying to do. I'm not happy about it either. I like fishing 3. I don't want to travel all over the daggone world, but also don't want to be a Bassmaster Elite Series pro. That's not my goal. That's not my mission. I have no desire to be a Bassmaster Elite Series pro. I like catching my kids' soccer practice too much. I don't want to miss all my kids' stuff. I got a 2-year-old now. I got a 16-year-old. I got a kid that might be playing college soccer for a D1 school. And I say might, I mean will be. I'm not trying to miss all of his soccer to go chase green fish around. As much as I love it, and you guys know I love it probably more than anybody that you ever seen in your life. I love it. I live and breathe this. I fish all the time. But I do not want to be a Bassmaster Elite Series pro. And I work for myself. I could do it. I easily could do it. I could try to put the money together, go talk to some local people, some businesses, see if I could put the money together to travel. It's not what I want to do right now. Maybe when I'm 50, maybe when I'm 45 and everything's good, my kids are a little bit more grown up, they're out there doing their own thing, they're not coming home every week asking me for money or something out the fridge. My wife's happy doing her own thing, she's retired, loving her life. Then maybe at that point, maybe I might try to travel. Me and my wife can travel around and I can try to fish the Bassmaster Elites and she can sightsee the world because I got to travel to all these different locations. But at this point in my life, I don't want to do that. I don't want to miss 9 weeks of work, 9 weeks of paychecks, hoping I can kick somebody's butt on some body of water I ain't never seen before in my life. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to New York and battle 7-foot waves while I'm getting cracked upside the head by my trolling motor because it came that high out of the water to hit me. I don't want to do that. But I know there's guys that do, and I get that. But my thing is, like, what they're trying to do and what they've seen is there's a struggle for guys who fish 3 tournaments and then have to turn around and fish the Elite Series. And you see those dudes, when they do that, they struggle. The first year, they all struggle. These dudes have to convert their vans into sleeping habitat. They got to they take out a loan just to travel around. They get to New York and don't have the baits from New York, so then they got to place a tackle warehouse overnight order, which eats away at your bottom line. You got to pay for a place to stay. You don't know nobody. You're trying to network with people so you can get in on a room and make it cheaper, but all that stuff don't just fall into your lap. So then you got to do that. You got to pay for all that, and then by the time you get back from that tournament, you get the last place check, which doesn't even cover your expenses to get into the tournament. And now you're like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to eat? Then you got to get back to work, right? Then you got to go get to work. So a lot of guys that you see do Bassmaster Elite Series, they have their own business. They sell tackle. They guide. Like, they got to do different things, man, like, to make it where ends meet. So I said all that to say that if you want to be a Bassmaster Elite Series pro, you've got to sacrifice something. So being mad about it, I get it. Say what you got to say. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Get it out there. Let it be known. It may not be the best decision that Bass has ever made. It might be the best decision that Bass has ever made. I don't know yet. They just made the decision. It is what it is. It's just like everybody else. They say that once Johnny Morris took over Bass Pro, the boats all trash. Like, listen to these people talk. When you go out and talk to people, man, I'm thinking about buying a Ranger. Don't buy a Ranger. Since Johnny Morris took over, they're trash. Trash. And then you see Mark Daniels Jr. with a 2022 Ranger that's the fire thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Phenomenal boat. Out here jacking them left and right. Sponsors, loving life, enjoying doing his thing. And then you go talk to some other dude and rank trash. Johnny Morris bought them, trash. These guys have their one-liners. They just throw out there to everybody. So like Johnny Morris is in the factory like, don't build good boats. Let's build junk. So people all get stranded on the water and then have to buy a new boat from us. It's like, I'm like, what are y'all thinking, man? These dudes, and then you're Nitro. Obviously, gonna be a new Nitro. Nitro Z20, trash. Rides too high. Hate it. Boat's terrible. Wouldn't do it. I'm like, Edwin Evers just won like $300,000 out of the boat. Ott Defoe, Kevin Van Dam, they kick your butt out of the boat. Trash. Like, there's so many people that complain about so much stuff. And then the same dude will be like, Nitro's trash. Until Nitro calls them and is like, we'd love to get you in a boat. We'd love to have you on Team Nitro. Oh, shoot, Nitro. Then you see them doing infomercials on Nitro. Like, people will talk until they're told to shut up. They'll always say something. Just like me. I'll have my opinion. You can tell me to shut up. I'm still going to have my opinion. I'm still going to say what I got to say. But I'm just saying, like, change is inevitable. It's going to happen. Bass fishing, when you get into it, you have to know it's a pay-to-play sport. It is a pay-to-play sport. If you ain't got the money, find another sport, man. Like, it's not going to happen. If you want to be a pro, you got to have bread. You need to go into $50,000 worth of entry fees with $100,000. So you have enough money to pay the entry fees and eat dinner. You got to be either independently wealthy, well connected with sponsors, have a job that has consistent money where you can make money while you're out of town. You have a team to run your stuff so you can still be making money. So you get back home and you don't got to eat ramen noodles. Okay. Or you have to minimize all your expenses. So buy a 1-story house, 1,000 square feet, save your money, bust your tail, pay your house off, buy a paid for car, buy a used boat, pay good money for it, trust your skills, get out there, kick butt, get your name on the map, get some sponsors calling, you have no bills, sponsor wants to pay for some stuff, jump out there, make it happen. That's like, you got to bust your tail and work for yourself. You have to sacrifice if you want this bass fishing deal because it's not like other sports. It's not like golf. It's not like tennis. It's not like baseball. It's not like basketball where you getting these dudes out here, basketball players making $37 million and don't want to show up for work. $42 million and I want to trade away from you. You're paying me $42 million, but I'm out of here. I don't like you. I'm gone. They're crying and complaining about 37 million. One of those basketball players' salaries, if they take that and give it to bass fishing, it would change the whole face of the sport from one of those players. But basketball is not the same as fishing. Fishing, again, you got to pay to play. So complaining about it, I get it. Do it. Make sure you get the proper things it takes. A lot of guys have been fishing for longer than I have. They've seen it where it was actually a legit red man, working man's trail, where the days lined up on the calendar where you could fish a tournament on Saturday. They were off limits, so the guy that worked for himself that can afford to take a week off and practice won't kick your butt on Saturday when you just showed up Saturday morning hoping to go fish off history. And he's been out there all week, and you just show up hoping for the best. The guys remember the good old days when things like that were going on. That's not the case no more, man. It's not the case no more, and it's not going to go back to that. So, like, at some point, you guys got to move on. Like, move on. Focus on what's going on right now. See if you can adapt to it. If you can't, get out. Okay, just fun fish. I said this in one of my videos before. Tournament fishing ain't for everybody. You can go out and spend $75,000 on a brand new boat, get all the electronics you want, and then just go fishing with your grandson. And have the most epic days and wonderful memories that you'll ever have. You could also spend $8,000 on a boat, go fishing with your grandson, not have a debt payment for the next 20 years. Or, I mean, if you're grandpa and you have that kind of money, you can just buy the boat because you saved your money and worked your tail off. Then just do that. Get a nice boat, have it, give it to your grandkids when you're done fishing, start them off on a good path, and then just keep it. Like, there's different levels of happiness when it comes to bass fishing. I'm happy catching fish. I'm happy being on the water. I'm happy if I win a tournament. I'm happy if I put things together and do well in a tournament, even if I don't win. I'm not satisfied, but I'm happy. What I'm saying is, understand it's a pay-to-play sport. You have to have the money to get in there. You have to network, and complaining and moaning on Facebook ain't going to help you get more sponsors. It ain't going to help put you in the front of people that can help make some change and get it to where it's actually affordable and you can do the sport. It's not going to happen. Complaining and moaning and groaning on Facebook to a bunch of different people that don't know nothing about you. Hopping on Twitter with a bunch of complaints. That's why I said this is going to be an unpopular opinion video, because my take on it is the trail that you're trying to get to, you need to battle like you're trying to get there. So for my take, when I fish in all different conditions, because when I show up for tournaments, I don't know if it's going to be rainy. I don't know if it's going to be cold. I don't know if it's going to be windy. I don't know if it's going to be hot as all get out. I don't know the conditions. So when I'm practicing, and by practicing I mean just going fishing everywhere, I practice in all conditions. In the rain, in the wind, in the coldest of colds, I go out there. In the hot of hots, I go out there. Low pressure, high tide, low tide. I practice the way I think I'm going to have to fish because I don't know and I want to be prepared. I've practiced fishing in a tornado, in a downpour, in a storm. I've done these things because I feel like you never know. And I want to be prepared for if I have to fish in a tornado or a storm. Obviously, I hope I don't have to, but I've gone out when the wind's really bad and I've tried to stand there and hold my balance and go fishing. Like I said, when it's freezing outside, you can't feel anything. I've done that because what I'm saying is I feel like you need to be prepared for any situation. And for a tournament trail to make you fish 3 tournaments and then turn around the next year and have to fish like 11 and watch people struggle and burn out and struggle and burn out and go broke and go broke and go broke. They finally decided to be like, let's match our entry level to this trail with something that matches that's comparable. So the guys are getting prepared for the grind, the struggle, the back and forth, the not having, the needing to be prepared deal, the driving. Let's get them prepared for the next level, basically. And then when you get to our level now, maybe we won't see so many people fall off the wayside and end up on drugs, like, because they can't handle it. They don't know, I can fish, I know I can fish. And now they're drinking all night because they don't know what the heck, they don't know what happened. What happened? They weren't ready. They weren't ready. Some guys are ready. Some guys can do it. Some guys have demonstrated they can do it. It's been a long-standing process that they can. But the more and more you let people with money get into it that aren't prepared for it, they just got money and they can get it, and they run into a couple of good fish now and then. They get to the trail, they still got the money, but they ain't ready for it, man. And they falling all over the place. They falling down all over the place, failing all over the place. And they're trying to line it up. And I respect that. I can commend that. I think that's a good thing to do. Like the NBA season. All these teams that you see take the regular season like it's junk. don't show up, it's whatever, I don't care, it don't matter, and then think they get to the playoffs and they can just turn it on. Out in the second round, out in the third round. They're not prepared. Their culture isn't right. Their drive isn't right. Too much load management. Guys load managing the whole daggone season, get to the playoffs, don't know what to do. They ain't had to play back-to-back games because they've been load managed all season. Like, they're not ready. So that's what I think they're doing. I think they try it out for this year. They see the numbers drop, the dollars go away, they'll make another change. People complaining up, they might make another change, they might not. It is what it is. They've made a lot of money. Think about it. They've had like 250 people sign up for every tournament this year. They're killing it. Money-wise, they're smashing it. So they're okay with taking an L, honestly. For next season, they may probably double what they made before. Everybody. These opens are filled up the day they come out. Everybody's signing up. So if next season they only get like 120 instead of 200, they've killed it. But now they're going to get like a cream of the crop. The guys that want to get there, the guys that have the money, the guys that hopefully have the drive. Hopefully these guys are practicing. They got the money, but hopefully they put in the time, and they'll see what happens. So again, unpopular opinion, get in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think. A little bit longer than I plan on going, but it's a topic that needs to be discussed. I need to get this out here so you guys can understand. It's a drive, it's a motivation, it's a want. You got to sacrifice some things. You got to put in some time if you want to get to where you want to get to. And you got to understand your goals, and you got to understand what it is you're trying to do. Also, too, you can always go to Major League Fishing. Go over there, but you still got to fish the Toyota Series. Still got to pay $1,700 for a tournament. Still got to get in there and compete against the best of the best. Or the best of the best that have money. The ones that have money. And also some of the best of the best. You still got to do it. And who says they're not going to change for next season? Who knows, right? Like, man, you just got to get in where you fit in, man. Or if you're very unhappy about it, band together, start your own trail, and see how many people you can get to sign up for your trail. Or go down to Texas and fish Texas Team Trail, because that's probably one of the best ones out there. Alabama Bass Trail. There's a lot of really good trails out there with really good hammers. You can, if you want to travel and fish, there's plenty of places you can do it. Okay, all over the world, there's plenty of places you can do it. So maybe look at doing that. So, anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. If you like the video, great. If you don't like the video, I totally understand. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I got mine. All right. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you as always. Check out next video is gonna have some fishing in it. So, peace.